Alright, we got top 20 most legendary first character appearances in anime.
No story can truly begin without amazing characters, and sometimes when a character's introduced for the first time, it's one of their most awesome moments. With the latter in mind, we've made a list of the top 20 character debuts in anime, ranging from Gabimaru's first appearance to Mahoraga wrecking an entire city. With so many debuts to choose from, we've narrowed the list down to the following characters, so let's get started. Starting off this list, we have Garou from One Punch Man. Now, Garou's a notable villain in the series, as we all know by now who has the makings of a spectacular hero. Manga readers know even more about what to expect, but overall, he's a character who has a significant impact on One Punch Man's world. Garou is the disciple of Bang, an S-class hero, but his introduction was less than heroic. Garou clearly declares to everyone that he's on the side of the monsters and proceeds to beat up a whole bunch of criminals and Stitch's guards. He leaves Stitch himself intact since he wants him to spread the word about the monster Garou. Garou's character design and general vibe are pretty intimidating and wild, which adds to his formidable strength too. His voice is great, just makes his debut even better.
Now, this dude is a mad guy.
Up next, we have Utsuro's reveal from Gintama.
Oh, okay. It's
always a kicker when a masked character is revealed, especially when that character is exceptionally
strong guy looks actually
and
really cool.
A villain. During his debut, Utsuro beats up Nobume, Sogo, and Kagura, and it's not until Gintoki arrives that he's pushed back a bit. The fight itself is pretty epic, but the best part is when Gintoki destroys Utsuro's mask only to see his old teacher's appearance underneath. This leads to him breaking down in the middle of the fight due to his memories, but the others help him out and finally push back Utsuro. The character leaves a lasting effect on Gintoki, adding to the weight of the character's appearance. The guy also has an extremely strong healing ability, which is something the trio would have to deal with properly down the line. An awesome villain with a calm and cool character design just adds to Utsuro's overall greatness, his role in the series is hyped up during this introduction too, which does make me wonder who else in Gintama debuted as great as him. Next on the list, we have another villain debut, which is Goto from Parasite.
Oh damn. Dude, I've heard so many good things about this anime. Did it just like rip off his own?
How should you introduce the main antagonist of a series? Well, other animes can definitely take pointers from Goto's introduction. He's later revealed to be one of the strongest parasites in the story, but that much could be judged by the first time he appeared in the anime. When he shows up, he proceeds to kill more than 20 members of the Yakuza in one of the most brutal ways possible. His character design at the time looks very simple, with him just being a big, buff guy in a tank top, but the way he destroyed an entire gang showed us how much of a threat he really is. Later on, when Migi senses multiple parasites but only sees Goto in their location, it leaves a sense of dread as Goto's power is harnessed through multiple parasites, setting him up as the main antagonist of the series. We see a much scarier version of Goto later in the anime, but his debut was nothing to scoff at either, so it makes the later appearance much more organic. Coming in at number 17, we have Diablo from the time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Okay. Diablo.
A primordial demon sounds like a big deal, especially when there are only 7 in the world. So, how is he introduced? In one of the funniest ways possible. What's the best way to fight evildoers? Summon even more evil creatures. That's what Rimuru did when he performed demon summoning. After killing around 20,000 farmers' soldiers, Rimuru became really vulnerable and performed a greater demon summoning by offering up all the bodies. This was when Diablo was summoned along with 2 other demons in one of the most sinister rituals we've ever seen in the series. What he does next is to just show us how strong a primordial demon is, and that even Raizen, a wizard from a major kingdom, has no chance against him. Diablo looks as cool as he is powerful, and his casual attitude while facing opponents just makes him one of the best characters so far.
He looks so strong,
we all love demons, and this man doesn't disappoint.
Killer man. What is
In
his
a bizarre
ability?
twist, we have the Pillar Men from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
What's
the
the
Pillar Men
ability?
are an ancient race of humanoids with amazing strength, intelligence, and nearly immortal bodies. The first time we see them is when they're sleeping inside a stone wall in wacky poses that JoJo as a series is known for. The people who go up to them at the time are men whose affiliations I can't say without the video being demonetized, so it makes the villain's introduction a little bit more shocking. Once awoken, Wamo proceeds to casually destroy the entire squadron by sucking the life out of them, showcasing his strength and intelligence before awakening the other two Pillar Men. The villains already had some pretty solid lore going for them, and the way these three debut just makes their entire introduction better. The trio also have pretty cool designs, and their poses are, well, just JoJo I suppose. From the first time I saw them, I already thought Joseph was going to have a hard time fighting them. Demons in Demon Slayer are extremely powerful and always pose a threat to our heroes, but the Upper Moon rank 1 is the strongest amongst these, second only to Muzan himself. Kokushibo is introduced during the meeting of the
That was a cool
demons,
introduction, but it wasn't like
Akaza
crazy.
is placed due to his insubordination. In his introduction, Kokushibo makes no physical actions, but his words are enough to strike fear even into Akaza, who's shown to be an exceptional fighter and made one of our favorite Hashiras into a donut. The second thing that catches everyone off guard is how similar Kokushibo looks to the pillars of the Demon Corps. He has a katana and the garb to match. You'd think he was a Demon Slayer, if not for the obvious 6 eyes staring at you. Now at this point, viewers were struck with awe as this particular demon didn't look like something you could defeat, and there were a lot of questions that came about after seeing a demon who used to be a Demon Slayer. Well, let's move on a bit from pure villains and go towards one of humanity's greatest weapons, coming up next on the list, which is Arima from Tokyo Ghoul.
Dude, that's a beast demon.
Arima's debut is impactful and establishes him as a significant character. Introduced as a skilled member of the Ghoul investigation team, Arima's reputation precedes him for his exceptional combat prowess and his calm and collected demeanor. His first appearance during an operation showcases how extremely strong he is, since he takes on the One-Eyed Owl, one of the biggest threats in the entire series, being a triple S rank Ghoul. He takes on the beast like it's not even a big deal. This introduction sets the stage for Arima's role in the series as a monster investigator surrounded by an aura of mystery, and moving forward, a lot of other things come to light about this strong yet mysterious character, but you're gonna have to watch to find out.
Oh! Wait, is that
At number 13, we have Gabimaru from Hell's Paradise. Protagonist introductions are normally pretty slow, as authors normally want to show the viewers how the protagonist grows in a series. This isn't the case with Gabimaru. His entire introduction is how hard he is to execute. This man just won't die. His captors try to cut off his head, but the blade breaks. Burning him has zero effect. Getting pulled by balls causes the balls to collapse with exhaustion. Being dipped in boiling oil doesn't even make him flinch. Literally every execution method fails, and Gabimaru simply brushes it off while seemingly showing everyone that he doesn't want to die. Without fighting a single person, Gabimaru's overall strength is shown, and that just makes the latter parts where he actually does fight all the more better. He also looks quite lanky and has a short, thin body type, which isn't your typical MC style. It isn't until Sagiri tries to execute him that we see Gabimaru put up a fight, but the initial introduction set him up for even better displays of raw power.
Bro, that animation is beautiful. I don't know, I felt like Hell's Paradise was a little bit underrated. I don't know why, like, it was a great anime. Like,
with that last entry done, we'll be moving back to villain introductions, with the next entry being All for One from My Hero Academia.
Okay. All for One.
All for One burst onto the scene in My Hero Academia, and it was totally worth the wait. He quickly became one of the scariest bad guys in the whole show, and frankly, that's because he is. He seems super chill but also crazy powerful, especially when he went head to head with All Might, matching and sometimes even beating his strength. When he first showed up, he nearly wiped out all the pro heroes at the Nomu factory and seriously hurt Best Genius to the point where we thought he may not survive, and all that in just a few attacks. He also delivers a savage line by saying that he doesn't even need Best Genius' quirk. Then, when facing off against All Might, he was confident and unafraid of literally the strongest hero in the world. It was a glorious introduction to an extremely overpowered villain with an even more overpowered quirk.
Diablo. 」  「 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 "」 「」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "「」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "」 "|
Is it Bleach?
The next antagonist we have on this list
That's
is
the new...
Yhwach from Bleach.
That's the
Bleach
new
has
one.
had its fair share of a whole lot of character debuts, but none surpasses the introduction of the strongest villain known to the Bleach universe. Yhwach is introduced in quite an ominous way, sitting on a throne with his subordinates in front of him. Two of them are having an argument, but Yhwach doesn't like conflict in his presence, so he does what any sane king would do. He cuts off one of their arms. Also, he does this without lifting a finger, which makes him all the more badass. His presence is like that of a king, and his power exceeds all expectations, since just his spiritual pressure is enough to chop off a limb. His appearance marked the start of the final saga of Bleach, and showed us a glimpse of the chaos that was about to come. Now, if you're enjoying the character debut so far, do like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. With that, let's take a look at the top 10.
That's bloody.
Moving on to the top 10 of this list, we have Luo Lang from Sword of the Stranger. His debut was right at the start of the movie, where Luo Lang faces off against a whole bunch of bandits. The setting's awesome, as Luo Lang and his people are on a cliff while it's raining when the bandits attack in full force. Luo Lang then proceeds to use a dead guide as a shield from the rain of arrows to get to the bandits.
That's like a classic move at this point.
One after the other. After killing off these guys in an incredible display of swordsmanship, Luo Lang faces off against the chief of the bandits barehanded. He blocks his attacks and takes his sword before throwing it into his forehead. It's just so brutal and stunning. Nasty. The animation makes it even better, and just looking at his power, you already know how strong Luo Lang would be if he goes all out. Did I mention how even the protagonist isn't shown until now? It just makes his impact even larger.
Oi, クソ野郎。先に行く。せいぜい頑張れ。
You okay?
Moving on, we have one of the coolest fights in recent times, Mahoraga's debut in the real world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Mahoraga is the strongest Shikigami that wielders of the 10 Shadows technique can summon. The only problem is that no one's been able to control Mahoraga till now, since no wielder of the technique could defeat him. Mahoraga can adapt to anything and everything, making it a being that would simply get stronger and stronger while fighting an opponent. No, his debut is just amazing. Megumi summons Mahoraga when he's in a really tight spot.
Oh, these are some good ones.
Process. As soon as Mahoraga is summoned, it takes one blow to knock out Megumi before Sukuna appears to face off against it. The fight that took place between the two was just absolutely stunning. Their fight was so ground and chaotic that block after block within Shibuya was being disintegrated. You just have to watch it to know how it feels.
Future Trunks.
Next on the list, we have Future Trunks zipping into the present in Dragon Ball Z. Now, fans of the series already know how strong Frieza is, considering it took Goku everything he had to defeat the monster. Frieza was showcased to be Goku's strongest adversary up to this point, and he was the reason Goku finally unlocked his Super Saiyan transformation so he could finally beat the guy. Seeing that Frieza came back was something that was horrifying for the fans, as it meant another brutal battle would take place. Unfortunately for Frieza though, Trunks showed up from the future. After taking out Frieza's foot soldiers, he proceeds to power up into a Super Saiyan, making Frieza lose his mind. Trunks then proceeds to wave off Frieza's attacks before cutting him to ribbons and punching a hole through King Cold. Trunks defeating Frieza this casually showed off his power as being possibly higher than even Goku at the time. And his debut hit a sweet spot for fans all around.
フリーザをいとも簡単に真っ二つにしたこの少年は一体何者なのだろうか
Oh, Hunter x Hunter.
Coming in at number 7, we have Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. This character debut is one of the most interesting ones since it's basically a character being born. Quite literally, this is when the king of the Chimera ants, Meruem, was conceived in the world. The debut was as gruesome as the first time we saw a facehugger rip out from a human being. If you're not aware, this is a reference from the Aliens movie. Meruem ripped through his mother, leaving her for dead before killing off a few other subordinates as well. He then proceeds to kill and feed off a few humans too. Meruem is shown to be on a whole other level when compared to everyone else we've seen so far. Even Netero was determined to be less powerful than the king of the ants. It's not until the end of the arc that we see the peak of Meruem's power, but there's no questioning that Meruem's debut marked a significant change in Hunter x Hunter. Next up, we have Zodd's appearance in Berserk.
300年にわたる殺戮の日々において貴様が初めてだ。
Jeez.
Until this point, the anime didn't showcase supernatural entities in full force. It mostly consisted of abnormally strong humans against other humans using tactics and strategy. But this marked the turning point in the anime as our protagonists realized that the world wasn't as simple as they thought it was. Zodd was initially shown in his human form, which is intimidating enough, considering he even wielded a blade that was much bigger than Guts while he stood near the bodies of numerous soldiers. When Guts tried to face him, he was instantly pushed back. During the fight, Zodd also showed that he was vastly experienced in fights and didn't just rely on brute strength. It's not until Guts lands a blow that Zodd transforms into his true monstrous form.
Dude.
Now, if you thought his humanoid appearance was intimidating, then you're in for a surprise when you see just how much more terrifying he can be. Good thing Griffith showed up to save Guts' neck. Blasting his way on this list, we have Kenny from Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay. Bro, that I remember when that happened. I was sick.
We all know how strong the Ackermans are since we've seen both Mikasa and Levi in action. Levi is quite effectively the strongest person on humanity's side, and it's a good thing too, since otherwise the Titans would be at a significant advantage. So what happens when an Ackerman faces an Ackerman? That's what Kenny's debut was all about. Kenny Ackerman debuted in one of the most iconic ways possible. He directly attacked Levi with his squad and made Levi go on the defensive. He proved himself by putting the strongest member of humanity on the run, and he had all the powers and prowess the Ackermans possessed. The sequence was gorgeously animated too, and just made everything even better. Kenny would prove to be a major threat, but as far as debuts go, this deserves to be in the top 5 on any list.
That's for sure.
Kenny! Before we reveal the top 3 list, we have Kaido's debut in One Piece.
Or is this like a honorable mentions?
Now, this is the time when we first see Kaido trying to take his own life. Before that, it's worth mentioning that Kaido is known as an Emperor of the Sea, one of the 4 strongest pirates around, and his nickname is the strongest creature in the world. The first time Kaido appears is 10,000 meters above the sea on a sky island. Then he jumps right off while the narrator explains how Kaido is practically unkillable as all execution methods on him have failed, much like a certain Gabimaru the Hollow. Kaido proceeds to land on an island, becoming a mini meteor and creating a Kaido-shaped crater in the ground. He came out of that alive with barely a headache. Kaido's debut showed how durable he is, and his form was absolutely massive. His body was extremely muscular and covered with tattoos, and even Eustace Kid was dumbfounded at the sight of him. An earth-shattering debut for one of the most invincible creatures in One Piece.
God damn it.
Coming in the top 3 of this list, we have
I didn't know he's that
debut
strong.
with his massive power. The first
I
time
know
we
he's
saw
muscular,
Escanor's
but
true power was a moment
I never
to
knew
behold
he's
and
like,
widely regarded
you know what
by
I'm saying?
fans of the series as amongst the best. When the commandments show up at Escanor's bar, Garland inadvertently knocks out the skinny Escanor with a light tap on the shoulder. We already know that Garland is pretty strong, but even he could barely lift Escanor's axe. Escanor then appears in all of his splendor, having been powered up by the sun. So what does this insane gentleman do next? He literally cuts Garland in half. Everything they threw at him just didn't do a single thing. What made this so awesome was the fact that for us the commandments were unstoppable, but it took this one skinny dude to just completely scare the life out of them. It was so freaking cool that you definitely need to watch this moment, or every Escanor moment for that matter actually. At number 2, we have L's first appearance from Death Note.
Classic.
だがエルという私は実在する。さあ、私を殺してみろ。
Our protagonist, Light Yagami, has been on a criminal killing spree and is shown to be an exceptionally smart and a very competent tactician. That is, until the detective of the series, L, shows up and puts him in his place. In a strategic masterclass, L makes his debut as just a voice, having manipulated Light into giving away his country of origin and a hint of his powers while announcing to the world that he would capture the killer Kira. It was such an amazing moment as before this point, we thought that Light would be able to continue bringing his form of justice to the world, but he'd possibly met his better in the form of L. The debut completely shifted the vibe of the series and was the start of a cat and mouse chase that would create millions of fans all around the world. I'm not gonna lie, Death Note was 100 times better because of him. So at the top of this list, we have Madara from Naruto.
I kind of expected it to be the number one.
This villain changed the entire scope of an all-out war solely by himself. After his appearance, he took on the entire Shinobi Alliance, single-handedly decimating the ninjas. After spending some time with Daijutsu, Madara proceeds to summon an entire meteor. It took 2 Kages to stop that meteor, so Madara just summoned another one on top of it. The situation becomes so bad that all 5 Kages come to face Madara and subsequently get their butts handed to them. The sheer power Madara demonstrated was on a completely different level that no one could fathom in Naruto's universe. His power struck fear in everyone's hearts, and he casually defeated some of the strongest shinobi around, all at the time when he first truly appeared on screen. His debut wasn't only terrifying to the Shinobi Alliance, but to fans too, because no one could ever imagine how they'd beat the man who was second only to the god of Shinobi.
お前はあと